been a while since I've done a solo walk. Got some time today and wanted to talk about a few things. One, I just finished reading John Maxwell, Charismatic Leader, which is a really, really good book. Really short read. I recommend it to pick it up as I thought it was a very insightful book. And also want to update the channel on a few significant life moves because there's been a lot happening here in the last couple weeks in my world. So for starters, the Charismatic Leader broken up into 3 parts, and I'm actually going to do 3 separate videos to cover each part because I think each part definitely deserves its own breakdown. And I'm not necessarily going to cover all the points that John covered. I'm really going to focus on my perspective and takeaways from each of these parts. So the 3 parts are: be interested in people, invest in people, and be interesting to people. And that is how you become a charismatic leader. And I actually agree with those 3 tenets 100%. I find a lot of value in framing charisma in that perspective, particularly as it relates to leadership. And I've always disagreed with that philosophy that it's not your job to be liked, because it is not your job to be liked. Your job is whatever your organization is paying you to do. But I will tell you, it's a lot easier to influence people and to get people to buy in if they respect and like you. And charisma is a trait that goes a long way. I think most people think people are naturally born with charisma, and that is true. I've been told that I'm naturally charismatic, but it is something that if you're intentional, you can definitely work on. And the first part of that book is about being interested in people. And to me, when you're being interested in people, is displaying a level of curiosity about the person in front of you or persons in front of you. I want to say, and I'm probably going to butcher this quote, so if you get to this point in the video, please correct me. But it's something on the lines of, when a person with charisma walks into the room, it creates the feeling of there you are versus here I am. And when you think about that, I love these little subtle changes that simplify little differences like that. And so when you think about that from that perspective, somebody that's really charismatic oftentimes make you feel really important. And the way they make you feel important is by displaying interest in you, whether they're asking you questions about what you're talking about, especially if they're doing it with good energy and a level of authenticity that feels authentic, where they're really trying to get to know your perspective. A lot of people appreciate that, and it goes an extremely long way. When you're willing to invest time into people like that, it leaves them wanting more. It leaves them wanting to come back. It leaves them wanting to get your perspective. And that's valuable as a leader. The importance of being able to deliver feedback, share information in a palpable way, and in a way that leaves people wanting to come back for more. And so you might have all the answers, but if people walk away feeling drained or feeling defeated or feeling small, the chances they're going to come back to you is very slim. And a leader's job is to drive influence, really drive influence in the direction that the company needs, right, your team or your organization or your unit to go through. And the fastest way to drive performance, in my opinion, really having great influence. So the idea of being interested in people as a leader is, to me, really critical. If you don't like people or particularly enjoy people, you probably shouldn't lead people. It's a really tough dynamic when you think about it. If you think about people only as resources to get to the means of an end, but if you can get people to really enjoy what they do and help shift their perspective, there's a lot of power in being able to do that. So what are ways you can show more interest in people? 1, practice active listening. That's a repetitive theme that comes on this channel often. But active listening is really, really important. And people can feel when they're being listened to. And if you make people walk away feeling heard, there's a really great chance that people are going to be more often to receive your perspective. But if you find yourself talking more than listening in interactions as a leader, there's an opportunity that you're kind of squashing innovation and not giving your team or the people you directly work with the space to be able to breathe and come up with the next breakthrough. Or it's not always about breakthroughs, but can we find more efficient ways to do the work, which leaves space to focus on the more important things in your organization. The other thing is, if you can, in communication, just effective communication, there's things you can do to demonstrate that you actively are listening and you understand, right? That's through body language, asking really good follow-up questions based off what the person is saying. Another great way to do that is, I love to have people go a little bit deeper on something, particularly something that I don't have a lot of exposure to. I'm always excited to learn just a person's perspective. And to me, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being able to see the world through somebody's lens. And that's what I love about having really, really rich dialogue, is you can really get to see what another person is experiencing. The second thing you can do is remember people's names. I know this is probably more challenging between the two. Not everybody's great with names, but I would say at least try to make an effort. And if you can repeat the person's name back 3 times in that first interaction, it's going to drastically improve the chances that you remember their names. And if you don't, it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm so sorry your name slipped me," and then make sure from there you try to try to lock it in. If you don't know, if you're with somebody, it's okay to say, "Hey, what's that person's name?" That's right, and make a formal introduction. But people love the sound of their own name, and if you can make that part of that dialogue, saying their name throughout the interaction, asking them a specific question, a very specific question with their name in it, it's going to really go a long way. That's it on this particular topic on being a charismatic leader. I'll shoot another video this week on my way to work for parts 2 and 3. Please drop a comment if you find these helpful. We also got some interesting news and some exciting news. There's been a lot going on the last couple of weeks. And so I'm going to be moving to Augusta, Georgia. So sometime in May, selling a house here and getting back down south. So I take that as a win no matter what. Enjoyed my time in this area. Got a chance to see a lot and do a lot. But I definitely missed the Southeast. And, I worked in Georgia, Augusta, many years ago, probably 12, 13 years ago at that point, and really enjoyed my time there. Super excited about that. And looking forward to new scenery on these walks. And, I've made so many great connections here now. I'm actually excited to have the opportunity to come back and forth. My daughter's going to be up here. My son's going to be up here, which is great. Gives me plenty of reason to constantly come back to our nation's capital and, continue to do this work, be able to still do some interviews. So I really enjoyed that. The channel hit 500 subscribers. So that's a big milestone. I said once I hit 500 subscribers, I was going to make some investments. So I initially was thinking about a drone. We're definitely upgrading the mics here shortly to start see what the equipment upgrades we can do just to continue to enhance the overall production quality of this little special thing we started, a little bit less than a year ago. So I'm super humbled and grateful to have 500 subscribers in such a short amount of time. My first channel, my watch channel, has like 1,800 subscribers now, and that one took me almost 2 years to hit 500. I wasn't as active, but still a while, and from there it kind of took off, and I've been feeling pretty good about the content. I've had a lot of practice, getting really good ideas about what to continue to do. This channel was always about engaging with the community, and so I do want to keep that focus. And so the really big aspirations is to continue to do these walks with other people and do interviews and get opportunities to have heroes tell their stories, whether they're celebrities or everyday people in our community doing amazing work. And I've been super humbled and excited to have done 8 connections on this channel, variety of different personalities, but it's wild with how similar their past success are. There's a lot of the same things that continue to come up, and I'm really looking forward to continue to do that and get better at my interviewing skills. As I get to do these videos, I get really good insight what I'm doing well, but also where I can improve, and that's making me a little bit stronger of a connector and interviewer for everyone that I do. So, but I'm very honored and blessed that I get to do this, and that I've been able to protect the time to kind of share perspective and insights. But that's it, folks. That's pretty big updates. If you haven't done so already and you've watched a couple of videos, like and subscribe to the channel. Even if you don't, tell me, hey, do this a little bit better. I'm always trying to grow. This has been extremely fun. Probably going to be a while between some of my videos as I get ready to make this move down to Georgia. But I'm looking forward to get right back at it when I get to the beautiful Augusta area. So this is Jimmy, y'all. Appreciate it. See y'all soon.